Very good morning. Welcome to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew Pearce and Bev Turner until midday.
Now, if you live in Birmingham, which is our magnificent second city, you must be pretty fed up. 14 days now, There has been a bin strike. The Labour Control Council...
Backlog. What will happen when they come to some sort of agreement? That they have to clear all those streets. And then the landfill is going to be overwhelmed in the Midlands and in the Birmingham area.
But there's also now a suggestion that people should withhold their council tax. And why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because that is one of the most important functions of the council.
Yeah.
It's appalling. We're going to have someone in Birmingham at some point to talk to residents because and talk to the council.
Yeah. Let us know if you are affected by that. We'd love to hear from you if you're in Birmingham today and this week. What has it been like? What can you do? Can you take your rubbish to the local tip? Yeah. But really, you shouldn't have to do that. And people are just going to build up. And the weather gets warmer. It's going to be grim.
And you know what some people are doing? They're fly tipping in the street.
Of course they are.
Because they think they can get away with it.
Right, gbnews.com/your say.
So, some breaking news.
Yeah. Go on.
I thought we were going to get a little breaking news jingle.
I was waiting for the
We didn't arrive. So the Home Office has announced it's no longer working with the main provider of migrant hotels.
That's right. At the same time, almost 6,000 small boats have crossed the English Channel this year. We are, as I'm sure you are, fed up of hearing stop the boats or smash the gangs, and we just wish that somebody would stop the problem.
And just look what Donald Trump, President of the United States, is doing.
Where illegals or illegal...
99%.
And it went like that. It was done almost instantly because it is a proper deterrence. Will our government ever get tough on this? Let's talk to GB News' Home and Security Editor Mark White now. Morning, Mark. It's been in touch at home. Starmer needs to learn from Trump about border control. A lot of you agreeing with that. Chris Welling says migrant crisis get the money back by charging full cost to the country where arrivals are from, out of foreign aid.
Well, it's charge France. Giving them enough money.
Yep.
To stop this.
Yep. Ian says, make a coffee and go and smell it. We're living in the Federal Reserve Empire. The Independent Bank of England is following orders, setting our interest rates. Politicians read the scripts, follow the narratives. For money and concert tickets, it seems. Globalists think globally. So, yeah, interesting. Keep your messages coming. gbnews.com/your say.
Now, still to come, secretaries, £5 billion benefit cuts are impacting our military veterans.
But also up by £2,500 next month. Do they deserve it? Before that, though, if you're in search of some winter sun, here are our top European holiday destinations. Welcome back to Britain's Newsroom with Andrew and Bev until midday. Thank you for joining us.
So MPs' pay is going to rise by 2.8% for the next financial year. That would take their salary to 10. Lots of you have been getting in touch, and I think a lot of you are very aerated by the MPs' pay rise.
Yeah.
Mere £2,500, taking them up to 94,000. Very nice, you can get it.
Darren says £2,500 for a bunch of not-rights that couldn't run a bath. We need a revolution. I don't think you're alone in feeling like that, Darren, at the moment. Rubber boats stopped equals 0. They're not even trying anymore. One of you says smash the gangs at home. Starmer's more interested in Ukraine borders, not American borders, says
Well, and that's a very good point because, you know, there he is. His plan to put British troops on the ground in Ukraine has been mocked in the United States and mocked by most of Europe. But we can't even protect our own borders.
It's ridiculous. Pat says, morning, Pat, illegal migrants, all I can say is it's sickening. For crying out loud, Labour, do something. Be more like Trump.
Yes, quite.
And David said, it's obvious the French just want to get rid of them as well. Our politicians are thick. Why are we giving them millions of pounds to prevent the illegal crossing? Where is the money going? Yeah, where is the money going?
Yeah.
Where is the disincentive? Where is the deterrent? And as I said before, it would be brilliant if we could just have everybody here and give everybody a lovely life and take everybody out of war zones. Marvellous. But we're a tiny little island. We have limited resources. We have limited hospitals, limited schools, limited houses, limited land, limited road space on the roads.
And we're full up.
Well, we're not really full up. I'm not a massive fan of that phrase, to be honest. I think it sort of...
Well, when I mean full up, what I mean full up is the schools are full up, hospitals are overflowing, there are not enough houses. That's why I mean say full up. We don't have the horrible word infrastructure to support this level of migrants coming to this country.
You know what I'm as much concerned about, actually, on this is just the fact that you've got people who've paid into the system for their whole lives, who walk down a high street that they do not recognise, who do not feel that they belong to a British identity. They don't feel like they're walking amongst what they would recognise as a British identity. And where does that leave those people? They can't ring 999 and think an ambulance will pick them up because the hospitals are full of people. So it's not right, and we have to have this conversation.
We do. My father would not recognise the East End that he was brought up in. Because nor do I, frankly.
No.
And I lived there for a while when I first came to London. Now, we've got some breaking news this morning. We used to have a jingle for breaking news, but obviously dropped it. The Home Office has announced it's no longer working with the main provider of migrant hotels because they were not providing a decent, proper service.
Oh.
By the way, the contract...
Quelle surprise.
Yeah, by the way, the contract signed by the last government in 2019 with this hotel provider was £2 billion. My God.
I mean, I'm glad they've stopped this contract. It means that somebody is looking at the numbers and looking at the audit sheet and going, what have we had for our... I think, was it a billion or 2 billion? What have we had for our 2 billion quid? Where has it gone? Are you, the owner of that company, on a yacht, having creamed a load of money off the taxpayer? So I'm glad that they've cancelled that contract if they are not getting value for money. But at the same time, we've had almost 6,000 small boats that have crossed the English Channel this year.
We should be finding out how much the directors of that hotel company have paid themselves.
Well, we had our first, didn't we have our first British-born billionaire hotel provider? Yeah. Let's wait and see if it's the same company. Let's go to Mark White. He's in very... This is the company, their contract has been suspended. Guess what their record profit was last year, Andrew Pearce? Have a little think what taxpayers' money has given the shareholders of SBHL.
Tens of millions.
50 million quid.
Very nice.
Record profit.
So the Fat Cat directors...
From you at home.
Have made a nice killing on that.
I'm just going to get T-shirts made that just say, why is everyone so stupid on the front of them?
Well, they've got to sort this out because it's not just the money.
Awful.
It's the impotence, it's the failure, it's the way the migrants are laughing at us. The French police are waving them off. And Macron's laughing at us. And yet Starmer's so got this great relationship with Macron.
This isn't just a Labour issue. No. This was happening under the Conservatives. These stupid deals were signed under Rishi Sunak and whoever else was leader of the Conservative Party for the last 5 years.
But also, Labour should have tried Rwanda. They should have at least tried to see if it would work. It would act as a deterrent.
Right. Would you like to spruce up your spring? We've got designer watches, designer handbag and nearly £18,000 in cash. Here's the details. Children.
Can you believe it? And it's day for the Chancellor. This time, it's for theatre tickets worth £276, which hasn't impressed one of her junior ministerial colleagues. You're with Britain's Newsroom on GP News.
And also, thank you for joining us. Amazing viewing figures again yesterday. Yeah, thanks to you all at home. And do you know what's amazing? Is how long you watched this show for. 78% of our 2.5 hours yesterday, you stayed with us. That's brilliant. We're so chuffed that you keep us company every morning. 78%. Sometimes I think you're going to leave before we get to 78% at the end of the show.
I might if you keep on like that.
Sometimes he has his bag packed by about 11:40. Now, look, Darren has got in touch at home and says, we all know now that our borders are non-existent. We know that all we do is bring people onto our land. But on the positive side, the government has 4,000 dinghies up for sale at huge discounted rates. Graham says the invasion across the Channel started as a trickle. We've all seen the movie where the dam wall cracks and the water trickles through just a little at first, but gradually the fissure opens up until the flow is unstoppable. That feels like it's happening across the Channel with the invasion of illegal migrants. In a year, maybe 2, the dinghies will be in the minority and they'll be coming over en masse on non-stop ferries. And GB John, morning John, who's a member of GB News, thank you very much for your support, says the sooner you wake up, realise that they're trying to destroy our country and our culture and get rid of Christianity. For Islam to take over this country, you need to wake up very quick. I know it feels like that, but I think that's probably a long way away.
Now, moving on. Tomorrow, it's the spring statement where the Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, will make what we think could be up to £15 billion of cuts from public spending, or is she going to borrow more? Are we going to see the return of austerity? How can you survive this dreaded spring statement?
Well, we're joined in the studio now by Shankar Singham, the CEO of Compter.